So here it is. I've been making videos and I've been talking about it. And it's going to be the biggest question all offseason. Mike Tomlin has created this controversy right here, right now with this game. And this is what I've been talking about. This is why I've been saying we should go with Kenny Pickett, because he was asked a question. Well, if Kenny Pickett can go, if he's healthy, are you going to put him in there? Tomlin's like, oh, well, I don't deal in hypotheticals. It isn't a hypothetical question. The fact is Kenny Pickett's good to go. He's ready to go and wants to go. And you're benching him without saying you're benching him. So this just creates such a controversy. There's already reports and people speculating that goddamn Russell Wilson's going to come here next year. So that's just going to be the whole. I mean, and it's a question that really needs to be asked. What's the quarterback room going to look like next year? Because this season ain't even over. You talk about the plan. You've been rolling forward with the plan as Kenny Pickett, and Kenny Pickett has been in the future. The future. That was the plan, for him to be the future, for him to be the heir apparent of Ben Roethlisberger. And now it seems like, after him getting hurt and Mitchell Trubisky pretty much going out there blowing games, you're going to Mason Rudolph, a guy who's not on a contract next year, and a guy that is going to want money next year, definitely. Especially if he wins these next 2 games, wins 3 in a row, and then gets into the playoffs and wins a playoff game. Shit. And then what if he doesn't win? If he goes out there and blows this game to Seattle, just has a horrible game, goes out there, tries to air it out, just tries to fucking bomb it down the field, then what? Then what do they go? Then what? Then you're going to go back to Kenny with 1 game left, with nothing left to win, nothing. Basically, the season's already over. And then what? You're just going to put Kenny out there again and say, okay, you're healthy now. We'll go with you now. It just seems like bad coaching to me. I'm sorry. And I'm a Tomlin advocate, but to me, it's just bad coaching. You fucking passed Mason over I don't know how many times. How many times has Tomlin passed Mason over, bro? And now it's basically, now that you lose them 2 popcorn cupcakes. Cleveland's celebrating right now. Cleveland has out Pittsburgh, the Steelers right now, and they're celebrating a playoff berth already. And Kevin Stefanski's out there pretty much calming the guys down. Unlike Tomlin, he's like, you guys earned yourself a second season, and that's it. Now we have to take care of business in the second season. Pittsburgh's dancing in Cincinnati before they even locked up a playoff spot, bro. It's ridiculous. Now we have to win the next 2 and have to get help. And you're basically rolling Mason Rudolph. Like I said, a guy you passed over I don't know how many times to save your fucking ass. A guy you passed over for Mitchell Trubisky, who you paid, who's on contract for the next 2 years after this season to be basically the starter, not even the backup, the starter for this fucking franchise. And then you roll him out there, say you have confidence in him. Oh, this is our guy. We have confidence in him. Or you stick it to a plan. But obviously, if you don't stick to your plan, you switch up real quick. So are we dealing in hypotheticals? It's not a hypothetical question. Kenny Pickett's fucking good to go. He's ready to go. So you're benching him without saying you're benching him, and you're trying to lay it off on an injury. And he's gimpy. He's not 199%. Nobody's 99, 100% right now. LeBron did a whole damn thing. As soon as you come into the league, after the first day you play, you're never 100%. But you get to 99%, but you're never going to be 100%. If you're big, especially, that's just in the NBA. Shit. The NFL, you're never 100%, bro. Especially at this point of the season. And if you have a quarterback who's a little bit gimpy, your starter, your franchise quarterback, who your plan was to be, this is the franchise quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers. There's no, he's a little gimpy. So we're going to start our 3rd string practice squad quarterback, who I haven't been getting reps all season long, but now I'm calling his number to save my fucking ass and save the fucking season. I'm sorry. You got to call it out for what it is, bro. You got to call it out for what it is. And people are saying I'm a Mason hater and I'm a Pitt fan, and I'm not a Pitt fan. I'm a Penn State fan, and I didn't want us to draft Kenny Pickett. I felt this team had way more problems. So people were just rolling in, reading my videos, because this is a big trending topic, and it's going to be the biggest trending topic all off season long. You're going to hear about 95 different names that are going to be the new starter for the Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback. They should draft this guy. They should draft this guy. They should sign this guy. They should move forward with Mason Rudolph. And to me, if you're going to, that's why Kenny should just go. We should see what we got with Kenny. Everybody says we should see what we got with Mason. We already missed it. We already went out there and determined. Tallman already threw him out there and determined he wasn't a part of this team. He wasn't a quarterback of the future, and you basically passed him over for Mitch. They passed him over. So we might as well just roll with Kenny, because what if he does lose this game? That's what I'm saying. What if he does lose this game? And I've been getting on Kenny all year. So believe you me, I'm not no Kenny fucking jock or fanboy or a Pitt fanboy. I didn't even want him to be drafted. Mason had 1 year left on his deal the year we drafted Kenny. If anything, they should have just let Mason. We won 8 games with Devlin Hodges. You give Mason a little bit better of a team and actually a full offseason, like everybody said Kenny Pickett needed to have a full offseason. And if you rolled him out last year, we probably would have won. And then you wouldn't have signed Mitchell for all that money, and you wouldn't have wasted a first-round draft pick on Kenny Pickett, and you already would have had your offensive line, and we wouldn't have had to trade up to get Broderick Jones this year. And if we did trade up, it could have been for the quarterback, the actual quarterback, if Mason wasn't the guy. But you at least give him that season. You need a full season. And now you're basically already not even giving your guy that you've had in your plans to be the future, Kenny Pickett. You're pretty much just throwing him out the pasture, bro. I mean, Russell Wilson wouldn't be bad. That's what I'm saying. So why even go with Mason? Because even if he does win these 3 games, are we going to go and sign him again? I would rather go out there and sign a Russell Wilson or sign a fucking guy. Because Mason's going on 29. Russell Wilson's like 35. Shit. If we're going to get a quarterback past our prime, might as well get one who's won a Super Bowl. Been there, done that. Actually has way more numbers and has won way more games than Mason Rudolph. I guess that's what they were doing with Mitchell. And they thought Kenny was going to be the guy. So what are you saying? Kenny's not your guy no more? Because obviously Kenny wants to fucking go, bro. So him trying to lay it off on like some kind of hypothetical question and we're going to stick to according to the plan. This is not the plan. This never was the plan for Mason Rudolph to be starting quarterback. Your plan was for Kenny to be the starter and Mitchell to be the backup. All right? And you sold out on your starter, you sold out on your backup, you sold out on your offensive coordinator. Now there's really how much, and it goes down to Tomlin and blame shifting and how he gets called out for blame shifting. Like, Canada's gone. Now Ding Dong Kenny's got to be gone now next to save your ass. And we're going to bring in another quarterback, I guess, next year. Like, really? What is the quarterback room going to look like? Because Mitchell Trubisky's still on contract for a lot of money. And the Steelers are going to take a beat on that contract. Ain't nobody going to trade for him. Nobody wants that contract. Nobody wants him on their roster to be their backup, let alone starter. So we're just pretty much going to have to take the beat on that contract because we got him on contract for the next 2 years. So the tune of like 11, 12 million each year. And the first year you get rid of him, it's going to be a big beat. We got to eat pretty much the majority of his goddamn contract, which is terrible. But are we going to keep him on the roster? Hell no. Kenny, I guess you can roll out as your backup, but then who's going to be the starter? Are you going to draft a guy and start a guy? Or are we going to sign a guy? Or are we going to make Mason the starter? Have to bring him back on a deal? And who knows how much it's going to be worth because the quarterback market's crazy right now in the NFL. It's just Daniel Jones is making $35 million. And he's terrible. Mason won't be here next year, and Kenny won't win against either of the next 2 teams. Sign a first-string corner. Russell was retired. He just doesn't know it yet. As much as I'm disappointed at Kenny this season, got a feeling he's going to prove us wrong the one day. I feel this is it. Like, this is the opportunity. You got hurt. The season's on the line. You are a franchise quarterback. We've been grooming you to be the franchise quarterback. If you're sticking to a plan, according to Tomlin, why we're not going to Mason, because we're sticking to the plan. We're not talking about hypotheticals. Well, hypothetically, Kenny's good to go. No, not hypothetically, realistically, factually, Kenny Pickett's ready to go, wants to go. And you're saying, well, we got to see. He's a little gimpy. Get the fuck out of here, bro. You're trying to play both sides of the fence right now, not drafting. And if Mason loses, like, oh, well, he was injured. We thought we did the right thing. Now we're going to go back to Kenny now that the season's over and then come back to be our guy next year. Like, if that's your guy, you got to make him feel like that's your guy, bro. Like, period. This is the NFL, dude. I don't know. I don't think. I mean, is he retired? I don't know if Russell Wilson's retired. I've seen reports that There's reports going around that I doubt there's any truth to them, but there's articles being floated around in Steeler groups that I've seen hit Russell Wilson to the Steelers next year. So shit, I take Russell Wilson over any of the three we got. I don't give a fuck if he's retired. I take him over any of the three bums we got. And everybody's acting like Mason went out there and beat the fucking world champions or something. He beat the worst team in the AFC North without Joe Burrow and one of the worst defenses in the NFL, like straight up. And our defense had 3 turnovers that game too. Yeah, a couple of nice throws to Pickens. And I'm a Tomlin defender, man. I think he has a great resume. I mean, I think we as Steeler fans are spoiled. We've had 18 years without a losing season. And if we win this game Saturday, that's 19 years without a losing season. And Vegas only had us at 8.5 wins. So Tomlin, and technically, I guess by Vegas's standards, not by Steeler fan standards, but by Vegas standards, we won more games than we were supposed to win if we win this game. And then if we win against Baltimore somehow last week of the season, we got a chance to get in the playoffs. Tomlin will be made a genius for starting Mason, but has nothing to do with his genius. It just has everything to do with circumstance. And your entire plan just caving right out in front, just the rug getting pulled right out from under you. Your whole plan just got shit on. And now you're just flushing your whole plan down the drain. You're flushing it. Because fact is, before Kenny got hurt, even though he has been playing good in the defense, there's a lot of the defense and all my videos all year long. Like the people in opinion, come on, you're a Kenny nut rider. It wasn't because of him, it's because of the defense. I've been saying it all years because of the defense. But the fact is, before he got hurt, we held on and we had that first wild card spot all year long, and now we're on the outside looking in. So for him just to after one good game against a shitty ass defense without their franchise $200 million plus quarterback, to just flip the script and just go and sell out on him and the plan and the whole entire future that you're trying to build your franchise around because of one good game against the Cincinnati Bengals. I don't know. And then if Mason loses this game, like I've been saying, we got to extend Tomlin. We should extend Tomlin, but there's even reports going around that we are going to extend Tomlin. But he is a Hall of Fame coach, but we might need a fresh new direction, man. He might have lost this locker room because, like I even said it before the Cardinals game, are we going to Tomlin this game? We cannot Tomlin this game. We have the playoff signed, sealed, and delivered, and then we Tomlin this game. Tomlin that game. And then I said, we can't Tomlin this game. Okay, we slipped up and fucked up against the Cardinals. Okay, they have Kyler Murray. Now we definitely can't let this fucking shit stick of a game go against the Patriots. And we did. And then somehow we were still in it. And then we let the shit stick of a game go against the Colts. And then somehow get the win against Cincinnati. And somehow we're still alive. When really if Kenny was playing better, like we probably would have won that Browns game. We probably would have won that Jags game. If Mitchell Trubisky just didn't go out there and blow the games. If we had Kenny in those games, even though he sucked, he wouldn't have went in there like Mitch and thrown fucking 95 interceptions and just said, here you go, to the other team. So we probably would already had a playoff spot locked up if Kenny just didn't get hurt. So I got a question going to Mason just because he had a hot game and a hot hand. This is about the future of the franchise. And the future of the franchise is Mason's not even on contract next year. And then you're benching him without saying you're benching him. So what? You're saying we can't go forward with this. And really, we can't because Kenny hasn't been good, and we shouldn't have to go forward with that at quarterback play. But is Mason really the motherfucking answer? This is just circumstantial. We have no other answer but Mason right now. I mean, it can be Kenny, and Kenny could go out there and get that win. And then you can go forward with what your plan was. But now, hypothetically, we're not hypothetically Tomlin. And hypothetically, you're selling out on Kenny. Not hypothetically, that's what is happening right here, and you don't want it to be written that way, and you're trying to fucking teeter-totter on the fact that you just benched your first round pick who you plan to be the future. And that goes on coaching because you passed him over. And that's the main thing is you passed him over for years and years and years and years and years. And now when the season's on the line and you need someone to save your ass, you're calling his number. So that's why I made a video. I said he's playing for a contract. He owes nothing for Pittsburgh. He doesn't owe Pittsburgh a goddamn thing. He should just go out there, not even play for the win, play to put up 400, 500 yards, throwing 5 interceptions, no interceptions, whatever. Like this is an opportunity for you with 1 year left on your contract to just go out there and put up the most numbers as you humanly can, and say fuck Pittsburgh, fuck everything. This is about me. This is about Mason right now, and this is about my future as either being in the NFL or not in the NFL anymore. With Pittsburgh, without Pittsburgh, it doesn't matter. I've been passed over. I've been sit on the sidelines. Now I have a chance at free agency. Now I have a chance to show what I can do. And now I'm going to go out there and, do whatever I can do to make myself shine. And be it we lose, win, don't matter. And that's probably is his mentality. That would be my mentality. Shit, I'm trying to get paid, bro. Because if I don't go out there and do good, I might never be on an NFL roster again. So I'm going out there. This is my last chance at being an NFL quarterback. He even said in his interview, I talked about doing commercials. It's like, this is it. It's either you go out there, tear it up, Mason, or this probably is your last chance, bro. You lose this game, and then watch how quick the cult is right now. Mason's the savior. He goes out there and throws 2 interceptions and has a terrible game. Mason Rudolph's, why didn't you start Kenny Pickett? That'll be the story. Why didn't you start Kenny? When everybody said you should have started Mason, that'll be the story. Why didn't you start Kenny? So, Mason, you better lose, win, and Tomlin, you better pray to fucking God he wins, bro. Because straight up, you just sold out on your franchise quarterback for a third-string quarterback that you had on a practice squad, and you haven't been getting any reps all year long. And he even said in his press conference, it's like foreign getting reps to me in practice at the juncture. And we're talking week 17, 2 games left, bro. This ain't 2 games into the season. This is 2 games left. And where it's just another it's a circus show, bro. It's going to be a circus show all off season long. That's the title of this video. What's the quarterback room going to look like next year? Because the speculation is just blown. It's just wide open now, bro, for all to draft McCarthy, draft Michael Penix. They're already talking about us moving up to get that dude from LSU. Sign Russell Wilson. Sign fucking, who knows, Derek Carr, Kirk Cousins. There will be so many names, bro, getting thrown around. Kirk Cousins was already getting thrown around this year. Like midway through the season, it was like, should the Steelers trade for Kirk Cousins? Because Kenny's been so trash. So, I mean, as a coach, you have to make those tough decisions. But if that's a decision you're going to make, you should go out there and just be a man about it and say, Kenny, you're benched. We're not going to accept this quarterback play anymore. We need better. And I mean, obviously, that's what we're doing. We do need better at the quarterback position because if we had at least mid quarterback play, at least mid offense this year, this team is already like the Browns, 10-5, 11-4, and have a fucking playoff spot locked up. And we'd be really have a chance to win this division. This last game of the year would not be for hopefully getting help and winning and gliding in on a wild card spot. It would be for the division crown in Baltimore. So he has a winning record. That's the thing. Like, it's been bad. He hasn't been putting up numbers, but at the same time, he does win, and he has clutch. He has a lot of fourth quarter comebacks in those few games he has started, the 10, 11, 12, however many games he started so far in his career. He's got a lot of fourth quarter comebacks, so he does show moxie in the fourth quarter. But I mean, 3 quarters of just terribleness, and then he brings it a little bit together in the fourth quarter. I mean, you can't have it. You need to be consistent all 4 quarters of the game. You got to be able to pick up first downs. You got to be able to hit receivers in stride. You got to be able to make checks at the line. You got to be able to read defenses. You can't miss like these wide open JV Pop Warner throws that he's missing to like easy over the middle at least 3 or 4 game. Like every video, every game I say it, like he's missing. He's just missing. And he's like gets scared and bells out the pocket too quick instead of stepping up in the pocket, like got happy feet in the pocket. I've made videos, happy feet. He's definitely talked about that. He's got a lot of happy feet this year. not accurate. He's not turning it over, but he's not taking no risks. He's not pushing it down the field. He's not even near throwing the ball. He's just taking sacks or throwing it away or just little dink and dunk bullshit. Like, he ain't really doing nothing. Silent count. Silent count Steelers. Mason in his loud environment. Kenny will be the only one on the roster. Mason would want to leave if he pulls out another win. Mitch is out. Mitch definitely, I think, got to get cut. And there's a lot of moves this team can make. And that's like the biggest question. If we could change his quarterback room around, we go out there and get, a revitalized Russell Wilson with a great defense, a little bit better offensive line in front of him, Pickens in this run game. Who knows? Maybe we do revitalize Russell Wilson's career, and he's the perfect guy, like a West Coast. That's the type of offense he runs, like a West Coast offense. That's the type of offense we need. And he can stretch the field vertically if you really want to. But we need somebody that can just go in there and move the sticks and move the chains. And with our run game and Mason's deep ball ability, bro, it makes defenses have to respect the fact that we can throw the ball deep. That's the thing. We haven't been throwing ball. That's even in videos. Like, I'm yelling, bro. In videos, I've been yelling. Like, they're daring us. Like, teams were straight up, especially early in the season, straight up daring us to pass. They were saying, Kenny, we're gonna blitz you. We're bringing all out pressure. We're stacking the box, and you can't pass on us. You don't got the balls to attack us deep. You're not going to attack us deep. You can't attack us deep. And now Mason defense has got to respect that a little bit, and that's could open up everything, especially if he gets that deep ball going. That's just going to make the run game a lot easier for Naj. It's going to make it a lot easier for Jalen Moore. It's going to open up all that underneath shit too to get those end around screens going that Matt Canada wants to do so much, and we've been trying to do so much, and they go nowhere. And fucking, open up the underneath shit for Deontay and Pat Fryermuth and Jalen Warren and Naj to work underneath a little bit. You got to get Pickens going. Like, he even called out the coaching staff. He's like, I can't do much doing 3-yard drags. You shouldn't be having fucking Pickens runs 3-yard drags. Put Najee with a little drag, a little dig route over the middle. Put Fryermuth with a little dig route over the middle. Put Washington's 6'8", 290-pound ass with a dig route over the middle. Send Pickens deep, man. The fuck? You got to open it up, man. You got to make teams respect and know the fact that you're going to pass the ball. That's like the West Coast. The West Coast, they don't really attack the ball vertically, attack teams vertically, but they want to pass to where linebackers have to sit back and cover the middle because you're just attacking, bump, quick passes over the middle, quick passes over the middle. So you can't blitz linebackers. You can't stack safeties and blitz safeties. You got to stay at home. You got to stay at a zone. And then once they start dropping back in those zones because you're attacking the middle so much with the passing game, boom, easy draw up the middle, easy dive up the middle. That way, on first down, every time the teams, they just stack the box. They know we're running the ball right up the middle with Naj. They know, so they stack it. Don't be stupid, dude. Your offensive line is going to have a long day against the Steelers' defensive line and front seven, buddy boy. And Joey Porter Jr. has been shut down all year, so I don't know what the hell you're talking about. And your defense is not that good. So really, we get the run game going, and Mason just doesn't turn it over, and Mason just gives us mediocre quarterback play. We're going to crush you, bro. We're going to crush you. Did you even beat any teams in the AFC North this year? I don't think you beat any teams in the AFC North this year. I think the whole AFC North smacked you. I think maybe you beat Cincinnati. But other than that, the whole AFC North smacked you up, dude. Your team's trash. That's what he's going to flatten Devin Bush. Devin Bush has been running his mouth on Pittsburgh. I used to make videos about him because he was so trash, dude. Fuck Devin Bush running his mouth. He hasn't done shit this year, and he's trying to laugh at Pittsburgh. He hasn't done nothing. Devin Bush is terrible. He's Bobby Wagner's old ass, ancient ass, prehistoric ass is getting more reps than Devin Bush at inside linebacker still for the Seattle Seahawks. The fuck out of here, Devin Bush. He was a fucking bust, bro. He was such a bust. That's becoming a theme for Pittsburgh, man. First round fucking busts, bro. It's getting old. So where's the quarterback room going to be? Because it's looking like now Tomlin is basically declaring Kenny is a bust, and he doesn't want to declare it just yet, though. He wants to teeter-totter it and have Mason go out here and hopefully save his ass in Seattle on Sunday. And then obviously, if Mason saves his ass again, he's going to go with Mason again. He ain't going to go back to Kenny. If Mason wins, he ain't going back to Kenny. If Mason loses, and then, oh my God, it's just going to be so much shit. A storm for Kenny. It's going to be a shitstorm for Mason. It's going to be a shitstorm for Tomlin. It's going to be a shitstorm for the whole organization if Mason goes out there and blows this one. Bush dressed like a woman on draft day. Najee Harris is serviceable, but he's so slow. No breakaway speed. He does not have no breakaway speed. So I really haven't been getting into that, but I did do a poll that game he fumbled it. I think it was against the Colts. Should we trade Najee? Would you trade Najee for a third-round pick? It was like 50-50. There was a lot of votes on it, and there were some comments on it. And I did a video. Should as a Jalen Warren holdout looming for the Steelers coming up this year? Because Najee is due like $7 million next year, bro. And Jalen's getting paid league minimum, which is like 300,000, 400,000 roundabout. And there was 2 games that he didn't get paid a game check, trying to block to protect his quarterback. They got overturned and shit, but still. So if you're Jalen Warren coming into your prime and you only have 1 year left on your contract, playing on a rookie minimum contract, and you like led the league in rushing last month, why wouldn't you hold out? Why wouldn't you want to go to another team to get more reps? Because we're splitting reps between the two of them. And it's just and the thing is with Warren, would he be doing good as if he's doing if Najee wasn't in there and if they weren't splitting reps? Maybe, maybe not, because he lights it up. He's electric when he goes in there. But he's going in there after the defense is kind of worn on a little bit, though. He's not going in there while the defense is fresh, like just right off the jump. And they split him in. And I think they're both good backs, and you can if you can hopefully get both of them back on both their rookie contracts next year, that would be great. They both have 1 year left. I think it might be an option with Najee. I don't even know. So we might not even pick up his option and then just go with Jalen Warren. You could probably play Jalen Warren less. You could sign him for like a 3-year, $5 million a year. He'd take that. 3 years, $5 million a year, right through his prime, and then get rid of that Najee money. So you'd be paying less for Jalen. You get Najee off the books, and then you have Jalen as your main guy, and then you just sign a big bruiser of a back to come in on like 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2s, 4th and 1s, shit like that, 2nd and 1, 2nd and 2s. Then you have Jalen. I think they complement each other very well. But neither of them really have gotten 20 touches all game. But neither of them. So they're both like splitting snaps this year. So it's hard for either of them to really get going. Najee is a guy that you really got to get the ball 20 times a game for him to really. He's not a breakaway guy, but he's a guy he can like Marshawn Lynch that can fucking pound and wear and tear on a defense and carry the pal. And then if you get him a hole to get those legs moving a little bit and get him in front of him, and then he starts lowering his shoulder on like second level safeties and linebackers, that's where he can really just start dominating. And once it gets going. And then if they do stack the box, that's where Kenny should have been dominating, because they have been stacking the box on us all year long pretty much. They've been trying to key Najee. That's what they've been doing, defenses. They've been keying Najee in the run game, bro. Straight up. And Kenny can't open it up. Last game, he ran for 78 yards because it's opened up. It's easier for him to run. And if you give him the ball 20 times, and we don't really utilize him in the receiving game. He came into the NFL being able to receive the ball, or that was the height. I haven't really seen much out of him in the receiving game. That's where Jalen Warren really excels. So I've been saying kind of use him like a Deebo Samuels, Christian McCaffrey type. You got to like start him in the backfield, slot him out as a receiver, start him as a receiver, slot him in the backfield, and use him to do a lot of pre-snap motion to help Kenny out, to help get a beat and a read on the defense. They were doing it. They started to do it too, because, they talked about it. I was like, they were talking about it in the offseason. Why haven't we seen it yet this season? And then all of a sudden they started doing it more. So, it's a good problem to have, both of those backs. But you got to question it, how bad this offense has been this year. You free up Najee's $7 million. You get a third-round pick for him. Shit, roll Jalen out there. Use that third-round pick on a big bruising back. I mean, you could do that. And well, shit, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It just creates so much controversy. And this question is not going to be answered to my live. What's the quarterback room going to look like? I could speculate. I could speculate that Mitchell Trubisky's ass is going to be guaranteed cut. Is Kenny going to be a backup? Could we trade Kenny for like a third round pick? They got a third round pick for Trey Lance. So would you trade Kenny for a third? Would you trade him for a fourth? Do you keep him as a backup? Do you roll him out as a starter? Do you sign a guy? Do you draft a guy? There's so many questions, and there's going to be so many stories written. And there's going to be so many names floated around all offseason long, guaranteed of who the next quarterback is going to be for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think he wants to teeter-totter on it. He doesn't want people to write him off. It goes on coaching. It goes on the fact that he basically has passed Mason over. He has said Mason does not have the talent and is not his talent. That's what he's saying by starting Mitchell, who basically threw this season away the past 2.5, 3 games, is better than Mason. Now he's saying that my franchise quarterback is not a guy who I just pretty much hasn't had reps all year long, hasn't been in the plans, has been on the practice squad, and like I said, even Mason said it's like foreign when he gets reps in practice. Now he's the guy that has to save yo fucking ass. It's just kind of. I like Tomlin, but I don't know, man. And even if that's not what he's trying to do, the media is what the media is. Like I've been talking about the media, they try to create a story out of nothing. So now you're talking about the quarterback of the Pittsburgh fucking Steelers, bro. So this is going to be the biggest fucking controversy and the biggest story all year long. And there's always just media stories and controversy and drama. I swear, all the time with these Tomlin teams. Like, and that's another thing that goes to coaching. The evaluation of the quarterback room is on coaching. The fucking diva show every year is coaching. Losing these popcorn cupcake games that we should never lose every year on coaching. Haven't fucking won a playoff game and I don't know how long on coaching. We're continuing to move forward in the offseason with Matt Canada. Is that on coaching? That might be more on general management front office, but who knows? There was a lot of rumors. Canada and Tomlin were all bougie and cush because he got Canada got his son or whatever a fucking scholarship at Maryland. So who knows? Stuck with Canada for so long, and then you ditched him, scapegoating. And I'm a Tomlin fan. He's the winningest coach in franchise history. But I mean, Andy Reid was great, but he never could get it done in Philadelphia. It took him time. It took him enough to go to the Chiefs to get those Super Bowls. And there's speculation that there's going to be a lot of teams offering for Tomlin, to trade Tomlin. So who knows? Because think about it, man. You got a guy that's on a contract, and you got a guy that you drafted to be the future of the team. Now you're saying he's not the future of the team, and now we're going to have to redo and reanalyze and find a whole new quarterback now. So who? I mean, can it happen overnight? Could we go get Peyton Manning and plug him in, and be the next guy? Can we, maybe move up and trade and get a good guy like Michael Finks or Phoenix or however the hell you say his name out of Washington? Like, I even put a short up of that dude. That dude can ball. That dude can stretch the field. That dude got mobility. He's got size, 6'3", he got a cannon. And that's really what the Steelers, they need a quarterback with some mobility and a quarterback that's willing to stretch the fucking field to open it up for this running game. And we got receivers and we got talent, man. So, like I said, if we just had mediocre quarterback play this year, And like I've been saying all year, I believe in the Steelers way. I believe in defense. You don't need a great quarterback to win championships, but you need to have a quarterback that's going to go in there when you have a running game like the Steelers have, and when you have weapons like George Pickens on the outside, when you have weapons like Deontay Johnson, when you have weapons like Pat Freiermuth, you got to be able to capitalize when your number's called. And when your receivers are wide open, like many times this year, Kenny has just missed. Missed. And is that on Canada? Is that on coaching? Or is that on execution? It's on execution. And even Kenny says in all his post game interviews, oh, well, I got to execute better. I got to execute better because at the end of the day, he hasn't been executing. And at the end of the day, did he deserve to lose his job? I mean, probably. Because it's been terrible. So, yeah, would Tomlin he should come out and just say it. You've been bad, Kenny. And I can't continue forward with you playing this bad. So, you need to wake the fuck up. But it's a decision. Kenny's good to go right now. If Mason goes in there and loses, Tomlin's going to get shit on, regardless. Even though everybody wants Mason to start right now for majority of it, like on all my polls and pretty much all my comments. And all the videos I'm seeing out of Steeler fans, everybody wants Mason. But if Mason goes out there and blows this shit, Tomlin's going to get shit on for the decision and going away from Kenny. Oh, Mitch's got to go. He's making too much to do nothing but lose games and pretty much give away all our playoff hopes to the other team that have absolutely zero playoff hopes already. A shout out to everybody who's coming into the chat, though. I mostly do videos because they do better, like view-wise, but it's good to get comments and do the lives and stuff. Make sure everybody hits the like and the subscribe and the notification bell so you know what's going on. It helps the channel more than you know. And there's a lot of, Bo Nix, I think, is kind of small. I think he could be like another Manziel. Bo Nix, these are all for the offseason, really. He's like 6 foot, and he can run in college and throw in college, but I feel like he's small, not big enough to where he can run in college. But when it comes to the NFL, he's going to be up against linebackers who are just as quick as him and way bigger than him. And he'll just throw him around like a rag doll. He's short, so he's not going to really be able to see over the offensive line. So I don't know if Bo Nix is going to be he's not like Manziel to where he's going to be doing cocaine and shit off hookers in the bathroom in East Cleveland somewhere. But he's short. I think he's like that type of build of Manziel. He has the speed and the arm talent for college, but doesn't have the speed or the arm talent for the NFL. He's just mid speed and mid arm talent for the NFL. So his dual threat shit just doesn't work. If he was, a little bit faster, maybe a little bit taller. JJ McCarthy's a guy that maybe, you plug him in, he'd probably do better than Kenny Pickett. He's kind of like Kenny. He's like a more NFL ready-made type quarterback, system quarterback, pocket quarterback. But I don't think he's has this crazy upside like Fanks, that dude from LSU. Probably a couple others I really got to look into. But that's going to be the big name, bro. Guaranteed all offseason. And honestly, that dude, I don't know much about him, but I guess he won the Heisman out of LSU, that quarterback. So he should go before him. And who knows where Fanks is going to go? Is he going to go in the top 5, the top 10, the top 15? Because Steelers will be picking like 17, 18, 19, depending, maybe 20. We moved up in the top 10 spot to get Devin Bush. Now it's time to move up in the top 10 spot to get that quarterback, bro, to plug and play. And Phoenix is a guy I think you can plug and play. Today, you put him in right now, he'd probably do better than Kenny Pickett. Shit, Mason went in there and did better than Kenny Pickett. Bro, fucking these bums for Cincinnati and fucking that DTR, 5th round, nobody scrub for Cleveland, who got replaced by Joe Flacco, outplayed Kenny fucking Pickett when we lost to the goddamn Browns. What was it 2019? If we just had a little bit of quarterback play that goddamn game, we would have fucking. We'd be celebrating, and Cleveland still be crying and cripping and crawling and striving to survive to get in the playoff spot right now. And we'd be looking at a possible chance for a division crown in Baltimore. So, I mean, that's going to be the biggest question. And it should be the biggest question. What's the quarterback room going to look next year for the Pittsburgh Steelers? For real, for real. What's the fucking. See, I don't know much about him. I know I've been looking at Fenks, though. I'm watching his highlights, looked at how big he was. He's 6'3". He's got a cannon. Like every highlight, it's like him bombing it from like the midfield, just bomb, touchdown, bomb, like on the money, just 1, 2, 3, bomb on the money. A couple he rolled out, and he had some mobility, and made some guys miss. Kind of reminds me like a Ben a little bit. Maybe not as big, strong wise, but I think he might be a little bit more mobile. He's got a fucking cannon. That's really what the Steelers need, is a quarterback that can open this shit up, stretch the field, get yards passing, not just on the ground. Because Naj, like you say, Naj is serviceable. They're both close to breaking 1,000 yards. They're both like sitting around like 700-800. Naj and Jalen Warren right now. So if we had a little bit of better passing game to like take the 8 men out of the box and these stacked fronts that they've been having to run against all year long, and you actually make a threat of a deep ball, which Mason brings, and obviously that's why they're going to it. And even Tomlin talked about it in the press conference. He has that threat of the deep ball. It's going to make it a lot easier for them to run the ball. So we had 2,000-yard rushers this season. We could ran for 2,000 yards this season, close to it. Then with Kenny Pickett's rushing yards and fucking this team's ran for 2,000 yards this year. This team has been running the ball very well. A team that before these last 2 years was terrible on the ground. Now you think the quarterback play, a guy, Kenny Pickett, who used the first round pick, would transition and progress and be better. I was expecting like 3,500 yards out of Kenny Pickett, 20 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions out of Kenny Pickett. I didn't think didn't expect him. Like even Tomlin said, there's reasonable expectations before the season. Like I put a short of it, reasonable expectations. I feel that is a reasonable expectation out of a first round pick, 3,500 yards, 20 touchdowns, 10 interceptions throughout a full season. And he ain't even close to that. He ain't close to 3,500 yards. In today's NFL, quarterbacks all of them are throwing for 4,000 yards. Peyton Manning threw for like 4,000 yards like 19 years in a row, whatever it was. So that's like really the standard in the NFL for a quarterback nowadays, especially nowadays. And we can't even get 3,500 out of Kenny. This is why what's happening is what's happening. And is why Mason is getting he's getting benched without Tomlin saying he's getting benched, pretty much. So I don't know. I went on for I usually went on for long enough, I guess. I'll come back for another live, maybe after the game, maybe before the game. I don't know. Peace out.